All right, tendon health. When considering how to train tendon muscle, and from a health and performance standpoint, there's two components of that system. There's the tendon itself, and the tendon is like an elastic rubber band that we want to be really stiff. The stiffer the better from a performance standpoint, because you can imagine if you're pulling a really stiff rubber band really hard and you let it go, it's going to fly really far, right? Now, in reality, stiffness, I'll face this way, so she doesn't have, she can walk by. In reality, there is a level of stiffness that's probably potentially pathological, but for this case, stiffness is a good thing. Now, the stiffer I have the tendon, or the stiffer I create, the more I create tendon stiffness, I need to match that with the muscle, or specifically where the muscle attaches to the tendon, which we call the musculotendinous junction. We need to match that with the appropriate capacity to be able to handle the level of stiffness of the tendon. If the tendon is stiffer than the muscle itself, then we're going to get a muscle pull, because as the tendon is stretching, the muscle can't handle that or be stiff enough. The muscle can't contract enough or be stiff enough or strong enough to be able to stretch the tendon, so the muscle actually gets overstretched itself, and then we get a muscle strain. The opposite could occur where we have a really strong muscle but a very weak tendon. Think of that as a swimmer. So a swimmer who spends a lot of time out of the pool, their ability to produce force in a short amount of time against gravity is probably pretty poor. But it doesn't mean that the muscle itself is necessarily weak. So when they go to produce force, maybe the muscle is doing its job, but the tendon is overstretching, and then we can get some potential tendinopathy. Now, an unhealthy tendon, from a treatment standpoint, we want to be able to treat it in a way where it isn't necessarily we have to load it a lot, but it's more the most important piece is the ability, time under tension. So the duration of load is more important than the intensity of load in an injured tendon. And so in order to help stimulate the collagen fibers to heal, or add collagen fibers in parallel in a more healthy way to build strength in those collagen fibers, we need to do what we call stress relaxation, okay? So in an unhealthy tendon, there's what we call stress shielding. The healthy tendon or unhealthy tendon is surrounded by good tendon, and the good tendon will shield against the stress, against the bad tendon. But we need load on the bad tendon in order to stimulate the production of collagen fibers. And so what we need to do is we need to do what we call stress relaxation. So we're going to go into an iso hold for 10 to 30 seconds. It has to be greater than 10 seconds, but preferably 30 seconds, in order that when we're holding, the healthy tendon is actually relaxing and stretching, which then we can get to that unhealthy tendon to stimulate the fibers within the unhealthy tendon. And so a protocol would be 5 sets of 30 seconds twice a day. Tendon has a short-term memory, and so the sensitivity of the tendon with loading is about 10 to 15 minutes total. So after that, the sensitivity of the load, like you can continue to load, but you're really not stimulating those collagen fibers any more than that, because they just have a short-term memory. So the load doesn't need to be long, or we don't need to load for an extended amount of time. It just has to be around that 10 to 15 minute mark. So, and then at some point we can actually do it twice a day, because if you give it about a 6 to 8 hour break in between, and the sensitivity of that tendon, the collagen fibers, I guess resets, so to speak. The researcher to look more into this is a guy by the name of Keith Barr, B-A-R-R, at the University of California, Davis. And then there's a lot of other tendon research groups that are doing. But I feel like his ability to connect, to practically apply it in a high performance realm is like probably the best.
Awesome.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.